No, the thumbnail is not clickbait. This is Team Rocket, in the Pokemon Adventures manga that is, and they're not just a bunch of criminals out for money or who can't succeed in the operations that they do. They're way crazier than that, and a whole lot different, and actually very effective with their goals. Team Rocket in the manga appeared throughout the arcs, and in every arc they had different goals, and in every arc they weren't just throwaway villains. Every time they either completed their goal or were close to completing their goals. What were these goals, you may ask? Well, some of them include taking over Kanto and having the gym leaders on their team, capturing Deoxys and freezing the protagonists, controlling Arceus to create the Creation Trio, and taking over the whole world. Yeah, I'm telling you, they weren't playing. And we can touch upon all their goals and arcs in various different videos. For now, I want to kick it back old school and touch upon their original goal of taking over Kanto, and talk about how drastically different this version of Team Rocket is from any version you may have previously known. And we're going to be doing this by going through the chronological events of Team Rocket in the first 3 volumes of the manga, so you really get to see how differently these events play out. Comment down below how many times you think someone or something is going to be unalived in this video, because I'll tell you right now, the number ain't 0. Starting things off, Team Rocket is introduced in the very first chapter of the manga. Literally, they're out in Pallet Town looking for the phantom Pokemon, which turns out to be Mew. This is obviously set up for something much later, which is honestly more sensible than saying that they found Mew in Guyana, and in some ways works better than showing off Ho to confirm the existence of more than 150 Pokemon. But regardless, this introduction establishes their presence throughout the adventures in Kanto and for the rest of the manga, as a mysterious organization and later the main antagonist, which is handled way better than evil teams are handled in any game, except Black and White. While this may seem irrelevant to Team Rocket, very early on it is established that Pokemon badges aren't just badges that show your proof to enter the Indigo League. Instead, it's made known that through the energy infused in the badges, Pokemon gain a boost to their stats and abilities. In this case, Brock's Boulder badge gave Red and Green a boosted attack, and these badges, just like in the game, help control higher level Pokemon. I know this seems irrelevant to the video now, but trust me, it will be relevant later on. By the 6th chapter, Missy's Gyarados actually gets stolen by some people for a few days and starts going berserk, and Professor Oak states that this is most likely the work of Team Rocket, being referred to as a secret crime syndicate that uses Pokemon for their own evil purposes, and have recently been said to be using lab experiments on Pokemon. So already, before the time we reach Mount Moon, we see Team Rocket searching for a mythical Pokemon, there's some mystery and ambiguity around them, and they're strong enough to steal one of a gym leader's strongest Pokemon, a Gyarados no less, and conduct experiments on it that cause it to refuse its own trainer's orders, and there's confirmation of them stealing other Pokemon as well. In the games, we wouldn't have even known about Team Rocket at this point, and in the anime, we may have, but, well, don't get me started there. Regarding Team Rocket, their next appearance is right after this as Red and Misty go to check Mount Moon, since Professor Oak told the two that Team Rocket will most likely be there due to research on Moonstones. And from the first page of chapter 7, one of the Team Rocket grunts make mention that if anyone interferes in their research in Mount Moon, they must use extreme force to take care of them. Hey man, they ain't playing any games, and they're really not, because after Red and Misty are discovered in the cave, one of the Team Rocket's villainous heads tried to cave in Red and Misty with a Rhyhorn. But by deflecting its attacks, Red is able to defeat Rhyhorn with Pikachu. That's when the Rocket head shows how cruel they can be by injecting Rhyhorn with a serum, forcing it to evolve into Rhydon on the spot, intending to use it to permanently get rid of the two kids. Misty then asks if this is what Team Rocket did to her Gyarados, implying that it was a Magikarp when she lost it. But the Rocket head doesn't give a dang and goes for a horn drill not only on their Pokemon, but also on the trainers. Yeah, luckily the drill didn't actually hit Misty, but the wind around it caused some serious knockback where she was bleeding from the head and knocked out unconscious. And this is nothing. In Adventures, people are battling as much as Pokemon, so don't be surprised to see more damage to people like this moving forward. Luckily, Red managed to save Misty and get the Moonstone and cause a cave-in on them, leading to their escape. And it's here that we see the true identity of this Team Rocket member, Koga. While it's not revealed that he's a head or his name's not told to us or anything, once he removes the hat, it's pretty obvious who it is. Wow, I guess one piece of attire can really make a big difference to one's appearance after all. When Red enters Vermilion City, he illegally enters the SSN, where he thinks he sees a Pokemon hiding in a room there, and swiftly has to make a break for it when the crew members learn about his whereabouts. But when he heads back to Vermilion, he becomes aware of the members of the Pokemon fan club and other people in Vermilion City having their Pokemon stolen at around the same time every month. And since these Pokemon are being stolen outside their Pokeballs, regardless of how big they are, he deduces that the only place that they'll be is at the SSN, which confirms his sighting there. And upon investigating on the ship, who is he stopped by? None other than the lieutenant himself, Surge. Red and Surge go at it, with Red trying to escape the ship, but with Red's Poliwhirl in Surge's hands, Surge decides to torture Red as a consequence of his actions by electrocuting him with thunder 10 times, and then chucks him into the water to drown. Bro, I am not kidding when I tell you, people get hurt here. Red, as he's drowning, goes into a Naruto flashback sequence of how he's drowned before and how his Poliwag had evolved into Poliwhirl to save him. And this time, Poliwhirl does the same by evolving into Poliwrath. Yeah, I'd like to say just conveniently found a water stone down there, but actually Vermilion Harbor harbors all 4 evolutionary stone or traces of it. It's hard to explain, but just, it evolved, okay? And then it just knocked out the hell out of Surge and his Electabuzz to the point where the crew members couldn't find him, and all of the stolen Pokemon were managed to be saved. But this is the first instance where a respected gym leader in the series was confirmed to be a villain to the reader and Red. Not only that, this is where we get to see Team Rocket's political power in the world as well. Because even after all these events, the public is unaware that Lieutenant Surge is a member of Team Rocket. He's still a well-respected gym leader that's gone missing, which is not only because of Team Rocket's political power, but just the overall political corruption of Kanto as a whole, which we will see more of moving forward. Jumping ship? Get it? Jumping ship? We're now at Lavender Town at chapter 13 and 14, where apparently Blue has gone missing and Red goes to save him and fights ghosts and decomposing corpses of Pokemon to try and find Blue. Yeah, it's more real than real here in Lavender Town, and it turns out that Blue is possessed by something or someone. Initially, Red thinks it's Ghastly and managed to snap him and Charmeleon out of it, but Blue, after coming back to his senses, went on about how he wanted to get back at the guy who started to control him. And when they see this person again, Koga formally introduces himself as a ninja and also one of the heads of Team Rocket and its elite trio. And while the battle is certainly crazy, Koga loses to Blue this time, and not only does he lose, but Blue's Charmeleon slices Koga's Arbok in half. And let's just say, Koga wasn't too happy about that. Remember kids, this is still a series for you. Chapter 16 is interesting because just one chapter prior, we got the introduction of Green and her mischievous and flirtatious ways of being a thief. And she actually ended up stealing Red's badges, and wouldn't you know it, she stole a bunch of stuff from Team Rocket as well. And since Team Rocket is also after her, Red decides that would be a good idea for a 10-year-old to blend in with Team Rocket and go after Green. It's here in the game corner that we see Mewtwo being created on Mew's DNA from the first chapter. And not only that, if you look closely, it's Blaine, who's the scientist here who's talking to Team Rocket Grunt. Yeah, another gym leader that's involved here in the mix. Blaine mentions how Mew's DNA isn't enough for a full body for a Pokemon, and apparently Green stole some DNA of Mew, and Team Rocket finds her and tries to ambush her. But of course, Red saves her and she saves him in a really funny way, and they make their grand escape, but unfortunately, Team Rocket reclaims the floppy disk that they need to create Mewtwo, or so they think. Green actually just gave them a fake. Yeah, a floppy disk, I know, I'm old. But you know who's not old? You, because if you're watching this video, then you're young enough to be a subscriber to the channel, and I really appreciate it if you did subscribe, because I'm going to be talking about more about Pokemon adventure stories like this one, and eventually get to covering the rest of Team Rocket's plans. But we gotta move forward with this, because we haven't even got to Sabrina yet, but she's gonna take a bit longer to appear, because immediately after this, in chapter 17, Red and Green somehow run into Mew, with a bunch of Team Rocket grunts coming in to try and capture Mew themselves. And while Red and Green are losing in the battle, Mew actually stops Team Rocket and teleports out of there. The plot thickens in chapter 19, where Erica gets Red and Bill to capture an escaped Eevee, and not just any Eevee, an Eevee that can transform into a full-fledged Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon, and revert back to Eevee by will. It was microchipped, and since Erica instructed Red with this task, Red thinks that Erica is the one who experimented on Eevee, just like Surge and Koga. What's with these gym leaders, man? Are Brock and Misty the only good ones? Well, throw Erica onto this list too, because it wasn't her. It was of course Team Rocket who experimented on this Eevee. She's not a part of the team, but yeah, technically minus these three, it's clear now that everyone else is. Sorta. We'll get back to it. Anyways, Erica mentions how Team Rocket has been on the loose and that they need to gather strong trainers to go up against them alongside the previous mentioned gym leaders. Red of course accepts and also takes Eevee onto his team, so there are many small things in the games that were just there just because. But here in the manga, it's all linked through Team Rocket. The gift Eevee, the creation of Mewtwo happening in real time, having to go in the SSN, the manga does a great job of finding a way to create one cohesive story, all the while focusing on the main protagonist's own goals of becoming the very best. You gotta give the manga huge credits for that. Bill mentions how if Red takes Eevee on his team, Team Rocket will also hunt him down since this particular Eevee with this unique ability is one of their prime targets. Bill also mentions how a nearby gym was recently attacked by a psychic Pokemon to make Red think twice about his decision, but he pays no attention to that and keeps on moving forward with his journey. And hey, Sabrina's finally here, and I'm pretty sure she just took down a fighting gym in Saffron City, so there's that. Another game connection. And also, Giovanni, revealed to be the leader of the Viridian City Gym already. Not to Red though, just the reader. Look at this kind, innocent man. Surely he can't be the leader of Team Rocket in this manga. Oh my god, he just unalived those two Magmar and started laughing maniacally. Yeah, so in this story, the boss of the crime syndicate realized that the kid took down two of their strongest members and decided to take care of things himself and check out the scene under disguise of an innocent man stuck in Diglett's cave. This is a lot more realistic and respectable than him standing at some random location, always waiting for him to defeat his minions, and actually makes him seem very intelligent and menacing. And of course, Red, being the oblivious kind guy that he is, helped him out of the cave, rambled a bit too much about how strong he is and how he took down gym leaders and Team Rocket, and then got into a setup where Giovanni could see his strength in action, which is exactly what he wanted. But I won't lie, little chibi Giovanni, nice guy Giovanni, yeah, I'm gonna miss him because this is the only time you see him, and him and Red have some funny panels together for sure. Giovanni's impressed and is ready to unalive Red because he views him as a problem. But when Red backs off from unaliving the Magmar, Giovanni states that Red won't be any issues to Team Rocket as he can't finish things off, and Gio ends up doing it himself. Yeah, typical Giovanni things, but Giovanni does give Red an old Amber, which will be important for later. The remainder of the Red, Blue, and Green series is pretty much just a Team Rocket story unfolding in all the different ways you wouldn't expect. Like, if you haven't read the manga, I dare you to guess how the rest of the plot goes in the comments section, and I guarantee you that unless you know spoilers, you're getting this wrong. Let's start with this. Red ended up getting Misty's Gyarados on his team since he needed a Pokemon with Surf, and Misty offered a Gyarados since they were previously acquainted, leaving Red with another Team Rocket experiment for a Pokemon on his team. Alongside that, while he's introducing his team to Gyarados, he and Team Rocket run into Articuno. While Red wants to protect Articuno from Team Rocket, Gyarados, at the sight of seeing Team Rocket, pretty much gets PTSD and starts going on a rampage. So yeah, we have previous plot points always playing a part into things. Red opts to pacify Gyarados over protecting Articuno, and while Red isn't sure, it seems like Articuno got away from Team Rocket. Psst, yeah, he was wrong. You'd think that Zapdos is next, but no, Team Rocket is on Cinnabar talking about how Blaine apparently betrayed them. And if you remember, Blaine was involved with Mewtwo's origins from earlier. The Team Rocket members are fighting Blaine while Red gets in the way and is actually being used as hostage for Blaine to cooperate. But Red, being Red, manages to escape alongside Blaine. And Blaine reveals to Red how he used to be a scientist for Team Rocket. And with that, it's time to tally up the sides, folks. Of the 8 Kanto gym leaders, 3 of them had no connection to Team Rocket, while the other 5 were a part of Team Rocket, with 3 good gym leaders and the public having no knowledge of this. This is how corrupt Kanto is as a region. Of course, now that Blaine left Team Rocket, it's 4-on-4 for the gym leaders, but still, 3-5 is really, really bad. Anyways, we don't get much more knowledge beyond this for now, but we do find out that Team Rocket has Moltres under their possession from when Blaine helped them capture it in the Indigo Plateau, and now it's backfired on him. But unfortunately for Team Rocket, the old Amber that their leader gave to Red, plus Blaine's Pokemon Revival Machine on Cinnabar, is what's gonna save them, as Red acquires his 7th and last team member, Aerodactyl. So yeah, Red also has half of his team as Team Rocket members in his own way, and things are going nuts as Blaine is about to go lights out by Moltres, claiming that if he doesn't survive here, everyone's gonna fall to the one he created, Mewtwo. But luckily, Red and Aerodactyl come in the nick of time to save the day, and Team Rocket and Moltres escape. Blaine leaves saying that he needs to stop Mewtwo, and on the other side with Team Rocket, we see Koga with Articuno, Sabrina with Moltres, and get news that Surge has obtained Zapdos. Giovanni claims that the Mewtwo project is done for, and now the legendary birds will be their winning pawns. Not gonna lie, kinda cool how each of the main Kanto legendary Pokemon have their respective Team Rocket member to go with them. But yeah, Team Rocket is kinda cracked out of their mind right now. I know Sabrina hasn't had much of a chance to shine as of yet, but don't worry, when Red heads back to Palatown after Cinnabar, he decides to give Oak a visit, and what do you know, Imposter Oak is here in the manga as well. Who is Imposter Oak here? Sabrina! Okay, it was actually a Kadabra, but still. Sabrina tells Red to come to Saffron City if he wants to stop them, and also realizes that Team Rocket had stolen his Eevee. Green links up with Red and states that the final battle between everyone in Team Rocket begins now. Enter Silphco. It was blocked by the Thirsty Guards, which yes, they're in the manga, as well as Mr. Mines putting up a psychic barrier on the whole city from anyone entering through air, so Red and Blue and Green have to think of a different way to go inside. Also, can we just appreciate how they took the concept of the Thirsty Guards being so stupid in the games, and how they actually used them in an effective way to show the power that Team Rocket has over the region, and how they really made Saffron City their base of operations. Suddenly, the Thirsty Guards make sense, and don't feel like a gag anymore. No, Green, they weren't thirsty like that. Behave yourself, you're pulling a Nami when she was a kid. When the gang enters Silphco, the 3 children get split up and go up against the gym leader trio of Team Rocket. It's Blue versus Koga, Red versus Surge, and Green versus Sabrina, with each of the gym leaders having their own Pokemon as well as a legendary bird. And we've seen countless times now that the battles in the Adventures manga get crazy for the humans as well. Blue gets suffocated by Muk and is also almost beheaded by Golbat. Red keeps getting shocked, and Green is trapped inside multiple illusions. And the birds haven't even been let out yet. So yeah, not looking too good for the kids. Throughout their battles, Red gets asked Surge the question that many of you have probably been asking. Why would gym leaders join Team Rocket? And the answer is quite simple. Power. They just want power. They were good gym leaders, but that got them nowhere, so they sought power. This is what I mean when I say Kanto is corrupt, to who knows what extent. Red usually has the upper hand very early on, but in this fight he tries to electrocute Surge, but in typical Ash Ketchum style, he can't be electrocuted because of the insulated gloves. This will be important for later because Red doesn't have any yet. Anyways, the leaders are out for blood trying to end the kids' lives, and while Red and Blue are really struggling, the situation is a bit different for Green. She's also struggling, and I don't want to make Sabrina seem weak here because she's definitely the strongest of the three, but Green finds a way to two-up her, and that throws Sabrina for a whole loop. Eventually, the other two kids also find their way around their respective situations, and they claim all the gym badges, and Red also takes Surge's gloves. Which again, the badges aren't just used for league purposes. Badges have a huge significance in the manga because when the gym leaders decide to attack with legendary birds, it's revealed that the birds are listening to gym leaders way too easily for being evil people. That's when Koga reminds the kids that the badges boost Pokemon stats and abilities, and above all, give the owner to control any Pokemon. And since Koga, Surge, Sabrina, and Giovanni all have and share their various badges, the legendary birds are under the influence of 4 badges at the moment, which in typical Pokemon games grants you the ability to command Pokemon up to level 50, which if we look at the games, you will see that the legendary birds are in fact caught at level 50. It's actually so perfect as to how they cook this up, and how they make every seemingly irrelevant piece of information in the games relevant to the manga. They just spin it together so well. Red eventually ends up finding the badge energy amplifier, and Green does green stealing things and states how the secret to the device is that when you place 7 of the 8 badges there, some crazy energy power boost will happen to a Pokemon. But what she fails to mention is that this actually combines the 3 legendary birds into one Pokemon. Yeah, Green wants to catch this thing, but she actually has PTSD from flying type Pokemon and almost got Red destroyed, so I don't know what she was trying here. But this thing under Sabrina's command is a no-go, especially when she claims that this is Team Rocket's greatest achievement. The experiment for this Pokemon was Red's Eevee, which he just got back after Sabrina got the birds since she has no further use for it. So yeah, they tortured Eevee again. And Sabrina really shows why she's second in command, because she single-handedly defeated all 3 of them. Granted, she had the fan named Advisor with her, but she's still the only one to do it thus far. But of course, this is Pokemon, and in one cool pose, the kids manage to survive, and they realize the only way to beat a trio is with the trio, and they use the 3 starters to take down the combined 3 birds. And this time, I want you guys to know it's not like the kids did everything to save the day. Oak was kidnapped, yeah, and Blue had to save him, but Brock, Misty, and Erica were at the scene and made sure no one escaped the city and the civilians were safe and retrieved all the Pokemon that Team Rocket stole. So yeah, Team Rocket needed at least 6 people to come together to really take them down, and we're not even done. The whole Mewtwo plotline isn't even complete. After all this, Red hears about the monsters in Cerulean City and explores Cerulean Cave, and of course, Mewtwo is there going all crazy, and Blaine saves Red from Mewtwo, all the while revealing that Mewtwo was a failure not because the experiment failed, but just like most of the other cannons, it was too powerful to control. On top of this, Blaine revealed that Mewtwo needed human DNA to fully be complete, so he mixed his own DNA with Mew's to create Mewtwo. Yeah, Blaine is the father! Team Rocket went this far here. I plan to one day cover a video on all of Mewtwo's story throughout Adventures, but today is not that day. Just know for now, Blaine and Red together successfully catch Mewtwo, and it's a good day. Till Red reaches Viridian City, cause I don't know if you got it, but Giovanni didn't battle as Silph Co, nor did the Earth badge appear at all, but Giovanni did appear briefly there. He just made eye contact with Red and then dipped. When Red enters the Viridian City gym to attain his 8th badge, that's when he's finally told who the archaeologist really was. Giovanni reveals himself not only as the gym leader of Viridian City, but also as the leader of Team Rocket, and by this point, Team Rocket isn't finished. You remember that small little subplot on Nugget Bridge where the Rocket Grunts try to recruit a kid for Team Rocket? Yeah, Giovanni's the one that does this time, and he does it really well. He makes a bet with Red. If Red beats Giovanni, he gets to leave scot-free. If he doesn't, then Red has to join Team Rocket. You may be wondering why this is even a fair bet, but it's because throughout the battle, Giovanni shows off his own speed and power as a person. He didn't just train his Pokemon, he trained himself. And that's why he's such a formidable trainer, because speed in running and picking up Pokemon and throwing it is way better than others. In terms of strength and durability, he's got it. And honestly, throughout this fight, it looks like Red is really gonna lose, because Giovanni just overpowers him in every way. But the 2 times Giovanni is about to win, it was Team Rocket's fault that he didn't. It's the first time Red's about to get his head taken off by Beedrill, but Red's Aerodactyl gets him out of the situation. motivation which Giovanni gave him. And the second time, Gio really thinks he's about to win, and it looks like he is, but Red sends out a crazy strong and electric shock, dishing back to Gio himself what Surge did to him many times, but stronger. And when Giovanni questions how Red was able to take the shock that Pikachu just dished out, Red pulls out Lieutenant Surge's own gloves. Karma got Team Rocket bad for real. This manga had everything, and in terms of Team Rocket, they were a lot more realistic, menacing, they were a legitimate threat, and the most brutal they ever were. But not only that, they were extremely intelligent and conniving as a group, and this isn't even the end of them. This is just what they managed to accomplish in 40 chapters, but they return in far greater and more threatening ways. But they're not the only ones who are corrupt in the Adventures manga. We're definitely going to be talking about the Elite Four next month, but for now, I hope I was able to showcase how different Team Rocket here is in comparison to the games, and of course the anime. This is my favorite version of Team Rocket, and I think after hearing all this will be many of your favorite versions of Team Rocket as well. This video took a long time to research and create, so if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe, because that's what's going to keep the motivation going for videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and next week, we're going to sail forward to the Hoenn region for manga content. See you guys then.